Hi everyone, my name is Casey. Welcome to day 5 of our creativity challenge. So today we're really tapping into intuition. That is the theme of our day for today. So I've created just a nice little 15-minute yoga sequence for us to really tune into our bodies and listen to our body's intuition, which is a great way to really hone in on intuition, where it comes from, and what that really small gut feeling that comes from kind of the inside of us, what that feels like by listening to what the body needs through just a really gentle, simple, easy yoga practice. So for today, you're gonna need a yoga mat, or if you don't have a yoga mat, you can just use a blanket or a towel, something that's just gonna add a little bit of cushioning and softness for your practice, and then that's also gonna create that space for your practice. And then you're also gonna need a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, you can use just a book or something that's about this thickness. That's totally fine also. I've used that a couple of times before I got my yoga blocks. And just so everyone knows, it's really important that you just listen to your body, modify as needed. You know, this is your practice and this is about tapping into your intuition. So if your body is telling you you want something else, whether it's you want to scale back or you want to ramp up, that's completely up to you. And I fully invite you to listen to that physical intuition of what your body is telling you. I've been teaching yoga now for about 3 years, and this is just a simple, easy sequence that I do a lot of times when I volunteer. I used to volunteer for a women's shelter, so I used to do this with them as just a nice way to ground in and listen to the body. So to get started, we're going to start in a seated position. I like to place the block underneath my hips and then cross my legs out in front of me. By elevating the hips, it really just allows the spine to settle and grow longer. And then we can really ground into this space. So I cross my legs in front of me, placing my hands on my thighs, and then feeling as if I have a string from the top of my head and it's pulling me up and out of my hips. If there's another position that's more comfortable for you, please feel free to move into that. I'm just gonna adjust myself quickly. So then as we sit here, I just invite you to close the eyes, taking a deep inhale through the nose and exhaling out of the mouth. And 2 more breaths just like that. Deep inhale and exhale, and really bringing your attention to your breath here. So allowing everything that's already happened or that will happen to just float away, and allowing your attention to come back into your body, and allowing your body to just be super present in this moment. And we do that by, again, connecting with the breath. So just a few more breaths here, letting yourself center and ground into this place, into the here and the now. It's very hard to tap into our intuition when we're concerned about the past or the future. 2 more breaths, deep inhale. Feeling the lungs expand, and as you exhale, allowing yourself to fully release and empty everything out. 1 more breath. Maybe the deepest breath of your day. And exhale, release. So you can gently blink the eyes open. You're gonna remove the block, just place it over to the side, and we're gonna come into a child's pose to start out. So I like to start out my child's pose. I bring my big toes to touch and then my knees out wide. And then I set the hips back and just let everything drop down. And then just start to reach the hands out in front of you, bringing the forehead down towards the mat, letting the chest soften down. If you'd like, you can also bring your legs together and then bring your hands back by your heels. So whatever position is speaking to you, just allow yourself to be here and now. If you want, you can also place your forehead on the block or on the book, and then just let yourself sink into this position. If you find that this position is too much on your knees, you can also place a block or a blanket underneath your knees. So you place it right here. And then just really feel the lower back expanding, feeling the back side of the body expand as you inhale. And then really feeling the softening of the hips and the sit bones as you exhale, dropping everything down. 2 more breaths in this position. One more inhale. And exhale everything out. If you have the block, remove that. And then as you inhale, just start to walk your hands over to the left. So you're really coming into a side body stretch here, feeling the right side of the body expanding as you inhale, and then softening and releasing as you exhale, doing your best to keep your sit bones grounded towards the earth. 2 more breaths here. One more deep inhale. And exhale everything out. On your next inhale, you're just gonna walk those hands to the opposite side of the mat. So coming over to the right side, maybe letting your left hand come on top of the right. And again, breathing into the side body here. And just noticing with these small, very gentle movements, how the body's feeling today. Maybe you're noticing just small differences on each side of the body, but tapping into that physical intuition and just listening to how the body is doing. What feedback is it giving you today? One more deep inhale. And exhale everything out. On your next inhale, you're just gonna walk your hands back to the center. Taking one more full round of breath here. And exhaling completely. So on your next inhale, you'll walk your hands back and then push yourself into a tabletop position, coming into all fours. So in this position, you've got your knees in direct alignment with your hips, your belly is pulled in, and then you've got your shoulders directly over your wrists, and you're pushing the earth away here. Coming into a few rounds of cat-cow. So as you inhale, you're gonna drop the belly, lift the chest up, bringing the tailbone up towards the sky, deep inhale, and then as you exhale, rounding everything in, belly pulls in up towards the spine, letting the head and the neck go. Maybe you shake it out a little bit, dropping that tailbone towards the earth. Again, as you inhale, coming into your cow, dropping the belly, lifting the chest. Again, exhale, coming into your angry cat, rounding the spine. Again, inhale, lifting the chest up. Exhale, rounding the spine, pushing the earth away as you do this. Doing this 4 more times, connecting with your breath. So as you inhale, lifting the chest. And then as you exhale, rounding the spine. If you want to take this a little further, maybe you start to barrel roll the chest and move yourself into a circle. Or maybe you start to set the hips back, making the movement a little bit bigger. Whatever you need, this is a really, really great position to just tap in again to that physical intuition, Really listen to the body, see if you have any sticky spots that need a little extra love and attention today. One more round as you inhale and exhale. So next we'll come into downward facing dog, and we'll do this by tucking the toes, lifting the knees off of the mat, and then pushing the sit bones and the hips up towards the sky. And then you can just start to bend one knee and then the other, walking your dog here. Maybe you shake out the head, yes and no. Just start to relieve any tension. Again, checking in, how's the body doing today? Opening and closing the jaw. I like to swallow. I feel like I hold a lot of tension in my jaw. So this is a great position to just check in. And then when you're ready, you'll find some stillness, and we'll hold this position for 5 breaths. So really pushing the earth away here. And I like to bend my knees here, lift the heels up, and then straighten the legs and start to drop the heels back down. So starting with the wrist, we push the earth away as the eye of the elbow rolls in towards the midline. Then those floating ribs knit together and the belly pulls in to support the back body. Then you feel the tailbone and the hips lifting up towards the sky as the heels drop down towards the earth. 3 more full rounds of breath here. Seeing how big you can make these breaths, how deep you can make them. And if nothing else throughout this sequence, the most important thing is that you continue to connect to the breath and allow yourself to be present. So when your next inhale, you'll lift the heels off of the mat, bend your knees, and then walk your feet to your hands at the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold. I like to start with a deep bend in my knees. Let the head and the neck go. Maybe grab a block if you want to place your hands on something, and making sure that the weight is in the balls of your feet so you're not sitting back on your heels. Then when you're ready, if you want, you can start to straighten the legs a little bit. If you want, you can remove that block or keep it there. Maybe you finger paint from one side to the other. Maybe you grab opposite elbows, but again, just feeling the entire back side of the body opening up, letting the head and the neck go. Are you holding any tension anywhere? How can you soften? Where can you release? 2 more full rounds of breath here, just letting yourself hang, letting everything just soften completely. And then when you're ready, on your next inhale, you'll bend your knees, release your hands if you have them clasped, and then just slowly, one vertebrae at a time, roll yourself up with the head being the last thing to come up. Lifting the arms up above the head, and then bringing the hands to heart center. Closing the eyes here if you would like, and just taking a moment again to feel yourself in your body. So feeling your feet firmly planted on the mat, feeling as if you have roots coming from your feet. And you're so strong in this position, and then just connecting with the breath and the intuition of your physical body. We'll move through a couple of rounds of sun salutations that I'll walk you through, but if you know what you're doing and you want to do them yourself, please feel free. So when you're ready, you'll blink your eyes open, and then on your inhale, you're gonna lift the arms above the head. And then as you exhale, you're gonna forward fold back into that position where we were before. As you inhale, you're going to lift the chest and you're gonna come into a half lift. So this is a flat back. So your weight is still in the balls of your feet and your floating ribs are knit together, belly is pulled in, and then the shoulder blades come together on the back so you have a flat back here. Exhale, coming down into that forward fold again. And then as you inhale, you're gonna plant the hands and step yourself back into a high plank.
Belly pulls up and in here, and again, you're pushing the earth away. And maybe you just drop the knees down to start, so you're in a modified plank here. Inhale in your plank, and then as you exhale, you're gonna drag the elbows next to the rib cage, lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Your hands are gonna come underneath your shoulders, tops of the feet push into the mat. As you inhale, you're gonna lift the chest up, only as much as you can without putting too much weight in the hands. And then as you exhale, you're gonna lower yourself back down. Inhale, you're gonna push your hips back to your heels. And then as you exhale, you're gonna tuck the toes and lift yourself back into that downward facing dog again. And that is round 1 of our sun salutations. One deep inhale here, and then as you exhale again, travel to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, Tadasana, mountain pose. Hands come above the head. Exhale, hands to heart center. So again, inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to your high plank or modified high plank. Inhaling here, and then as you exhale, lower yourself all the way down. Again, inhaling up for baby cobra, unless you'd like to do an up dog, and that's part of your practice. Exhale, release. Inhale, pushes you back. And exhale brings you to your downward facing dog. One more round here. So inhale, and then as you exhale again, travel those feet to the top of the mat where your hands are. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up again, Tadasana, standing mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time, inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, making your breaths as deep as you possibly can. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands and step back to your high plank. Inhale here. Exhale lowers you all the way down to the mat unless you're going to a chaturanga and a vinyasa. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lower down. Inhale pushes you back. And exhale brings you into that downward facing dog. So you've got 3 breaths here again before we lower down. Again, really just finding presence in this position by connecting to the breath and allowing your body to give you the information it needs, allowing yourself to tap into that intuition. One more breath. And then when you're ready, you can lower your knees down onto the mat. And then you'll just swing your legs around and place your feet flat on the mat, making sure that you have your block close to you. So you're just gonna lower all the way down onto the mat and then bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze here. Rock back and forth if you want. I like to place my hands on my kneecaps and just make little circles with my knees, which is just a nice massage for the lower back. If you've done that, just make sure you move your knees in the opposite direction. Again, just feeling into the physical body. What do you need? How is it doing? So next we'll come into one of my favorite positions, which is a supported bridge. So you're gonna bring your heels as close as you can to your glutes. I like to be able to tickle my heels with my fingers. And then you have your block or your book close to you. And then as you inhale, you're going to bring this belly in towards the spine and then lift the hips off of the mat again as you inhale.
Then you're gonna take your block and you're gonna place it at the base of your spine where your sacrum is. So where your spine meets your tailbone. And then you're gonna lower the hips down onto the block or the book, and then just bring your hands out to the sides, palms up, eyes can close. And just breathing here. This is one of my favorite positions because it's really great for any lower back stress or pain that we feel. So just letting the entire lower back melt into the block as it supports you here, breathing into this position. You might also feel a little bit of a stretch along the hip flexors depending on how tight you are here. But we're just gonna breathe here for 4 deep, full rounds of breath. And with each exhale, seeing what you can release and what you can soften. And with each inhale, seeing if it can draw you more present into the position. One more full round of breath. And exhale. On your next inhale, you're gonna put the weight back into your feet, gently lift the hips off of the block, and then remove the block or the book over to the side, and then gently lower your hips back down. I like to bring my feet out to the edges of the mat after doing some kind of back bend, and then just windshield wiper back and forth. It's a nice way to just release anything else that might have gotten stuck. And then bringing the knees into the chest again. So we'll come into a nice gentle spinal twist. There are a couple of ways you can do this, but I'm going to recommend that we do it just the most gentle way. So your hands are going to come out to a T, and you're just going to drop your knees stacked over to the left. If it's comfortable for you, you can let your head drop over to the opposite direction of the knees. So if you dropped your knees to the left, your head's going into the right position. If you want, you can place a hand on one of the outside edges of the thigh, and just breathing into the lower back here again, feeling any tension that might be coming up. What information is the physical body giving you? How can you intuitively help your body release and soften? 3 more full, deep rounds of breath here. One more deep inhale. And as you exhale, gently lifting your knees up and off of the ground, and you're going to move in the opposite direction. So dropping those knees in the other direction, and then head, if it's comfortable for your neck, can drop again in the opposite direction of your knees. And then again, closing the eyes and just letting yourself breathe here. Doing a nice body scan. So are you noticing any differences from one side to the other? If you are, that's great. There's no need to place any judgment on it. We're just paying attention. One more full round of breath here. Exhale everything out. And then as you inhale, coming back up, bring the knees into the chest again, and then bring the knees out wide. We're coming into a happy baby. So you're gonna flex the feet and then lift the feet up towards the ceiling. Maybe you just grab the back of your thighs. Maybe you grab your calves or your shins. Maybe you grab your ankles. Or if you're ready, you can grab the outside edges of your feet, making sure though that the sacrum doesn't come up, that the sacrum comes back down onto the mat. So you have a flat spine here.
Then you can just rock back and forth. Again, maybe you notice some sticky spots, or maybe you're feeling really open today. Just taking some time, again, connecting with the physical body. What is your intuition telling you that you need? And then when you're ready, you'll release your grip on your feet and let the feet come down onto the mat. So we're coming into a Supta Baddha Konasana. So the soles of the feet come together and the outside edges of the feet come onto the mat. And then you let your knees drop out wide. Closing the eyes, placing the left hand on the heart, right hand on the belly. And then just taking some deep breaths here. This is one of my favorite positions to really just reconnect. So feeling the belly rise and fall here. Feeling the heartbeat underneath your hand. And then just seeing if there's anything else your body is craving here. If you're an avid yoga doer, then you might be called to do something else. Even if you're not totally into yoga, you might find that your body is calling for something. So if it is, please honor that and move into it. Otherwise, when you're ready, you'll move into Shavasana. So to do that, you're just going to extend your legs out long. And you're going to bring your arms out comfortably to the side, down by your hips. I like to roll my shoulder blades together so it supports my heart. So I've got a nice chest opening and a heart opening here. And then just closing the eyes here and reconnecting with the breath. So feeling the eyelids are heavy on the eyes. Feeling the mat and the ground fully support the physical body, allowing yourself to just completely release into this position. Returning to a normal breath here, organic breath, and letting the thinking mind drop to the back of the skull. And just allowing yourself to be here, soak in this gift that you have given yourself. Be present in this moment for just a few more moments.
I do invite you to stay in Shavasana for about 2 minutes at least. If you can stay longer, that's fantastic. And then when you're ready, you can just start to deepen your breath and just start to find some small, organic, gentle movement. Maybe wiggle the fingers and toes. Circle the ankles and the wrists. I like to rock my head back and forth, massaging the back of the skull. And then when you're ready, you can take your time. Gently push yourself up to a seated position and bring your hands to heart center. I always like to end my practice by closing my eyes, taking a deep inhale through the nose, and exhaling everything out. I feel like a bunch of dogs are about to bark, so I apologize in advance. And then again, just reconnecting with that intuition that lives so deep within inside us, but sometimes gets drowned out by the monkey mind. I thank you so much for each of you being here with me today and letting me guide you through this fun, simple, intuitive exercise and yoga practice. I wish you all a lovely day, an amazing day. Namaste.